Hello children, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do the exam based explanation of the chapter Glimpses of India. This chapter has been divided into three parts and today we are going to see the first part, A Baker from Goa, written by Lucio Rodrigues. He was an authority in Goan culture and folklore. Here he tells us how important a baker is to the Goan culture, and he is an intrinsic part, a necessary part of the day-to-day life of any Goan. If you like what you see in the video, please subscribe to my channel. This lesson has mainly 7 points, and if you remember these points, then it is very easy to remember the lesson. So that is why I have made these points for you. Nostalgia, the baker, the baker's arrival, the children's reaction, bread on special occasions, the baker's lifestyle, the baker still lives on. These are the only things you have to know in order to remember the lesson completely. Nostalgia. Elders are often heard reminiscing nostalgically about those good old Portuguese days. Here he is telling us that the Portugal people were very nice and they had given them passed over a lot of their culture, and elders in Goa, reminiscing means remembering. So they often remembered the Goan Portuguese days in Goa. Nostalgically means remembering very lovingly, very fondly. The Portuguese have vanished, but the makers are still there. So the Portuguese have gone. Goa has attained independence, but the makers of the loaves are still very much in Goa. The mixers, the molders, and those who bake the loaves are still here. That means the bakers and their method of baking is still very much a part of Goa. Those age-old, time-tested furnaces still exist. These furnaces have been put to test by time and still they are going very strong. The fire in the furnaces has not yet been extinguished. The baker. Baker is usually called a pader in Goa, and even today the baker is called a pader. For the author, the baker used to be his friend, his companion and guide. So the baker was not somebody who just came to sell bread, but he had a deeper and stronger bond with the baker. The baker used to come at least twice a day. In the morning he would come on his selling round distributing the loaves of bread, and then again he returned after emptying his huge basket. The baker's arrival. The baker's arrival was nothing less than a ceremony. The jingling thud of his bamboo heralded his arrival and woke up the children. So he would have a stick with him, a staff, bamboo staff, and he would just put it on the floor and it would make a musical sound. And that announced the arrival of the baker, and this woke up the children also. How he looked as he came. One hand supported the basket on his head and the other banged the bamboo on the ground. So with one hand he was holding the basket full of loaves and on the other he was hitting the ground. He would greet the lady of the house politely, placing the basket on the vertical bamboo. He would then place the bamboo in a vertical position and keep the basket on top of it, and then he would greet the lady of the house. The paskin or bastin, that is the maid servant, would take the loaves. The children would come running for the bread bangles. So the children were interested in having their children's reaction. Now the children have been woken up and they have come running to get the bread bangles. The children would be pushed aside with a mild rebuke. Rebuke means scolding. This was not a serious one. The loaves would be delivered to the servant, but the children would not give up. The children would climb a bench or a parapet and peep into the basket somehow. A parapet is a low wall. The author could still recall the typical fragrance of those loaves. Recall means remember, call back. Fragrance is the beautiful smell, the aroma. And the loaves for the elders and the bangles for the children. So the children were only interested in the bread bangles. They would not even care to brush their teeth properly or even wash their mouths. They would come running very enthusiastically to have their bread bangles. Special occasions. The author tells us that no special occasion is complete without the bread. The marriage gifts are meaningless without the special sweet bread called bowl. Feasts and parties lose their charm without the bread. The lady of the house must prepare sandwiches on the engagement of their daughter. Cakes and bolinas. Bolinas is also a form of a sweet, are a must for Christmas. So we see here that the presence of the baker and his furnace is absolutely necessary. He is a part and parcel of Goan culture. The baker's lifestyle. A baker of earlier years wore a single piece frock like shirt called the kabai. In his childhood, the author saw the baker wear a shirt and trousers shorter than full length. It was not a full length trouser, it was much shorter than that. Even today, anyone wearing half pants reaching to the knees is called a pader. The baker collected his bills at the end of the month. So his accounting was completed once in a month and he collected the money. He usually maintained his accounts on the wall with a pencil. So it was a very simple form of accounting. The baker still lives on. The baker had a very profitable profession. Baking was a very profitable profession. He, his family and his servants never starved because he was doing very well for himself. Their plump physique was proof to his prosperity. Prosperity means well-being, and they were eating well and living a very good life. Even today, a plump person is compared to a baker. So we come to know that the baker and baking is still very much the same and loved in Goan culture. With